All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I'm a couple of minutes early. It is news day today, and so let's just double check the calendar to see what we have coming up. And then we'll go and review what happened over the last couple of days while I was away. All right, so we have Michigan consumer sentiment, prelim, and then expectation prelim. Right, so we have a lot of stuff coming up. We have a speech 30 minutes later. All right, so we have to be cautious of this. That's coming up in a few minutes. If we look at the daily candle, we can see a lower low, lower high, green bodied candle. If we look directly to the 1 minute chart, I can see myself into a flag right here.
1 minute remaining. I'll lead with the University of Michigan sentiment prelim.
And so within this flag, we have to expect an outcome of some kind, right? And so I wouldn't put it past the market to give us a move towards here if the news warrants it. Right, so we are moving 9 pips at a time, just waiting for this news event. Okay, we'll just wait out for the news and then we'll go and review what happened the last couple of days. Let's zoom into this. I have long positions
10
from
seconds.
yesterday's low.
76 spot 5, 76 spot 5, that's lower than forecast. 77 spot 1. The 1 year inflation prelim at 3%, 3%, that's lower than forecast. 3 spot 1%. 5 year inflation prelim 2.9%, 2.9% as expected.
So this should
To
help.
break down the expectations prelim at 74 spot 6, 74 spot 6. It is lower than forecast. 75 spot 1. Conditions prelim 79 spot 4, 79 spot 4. Which is lower than forecast at 79.7.
There we go. This should help our euro longs. Right, we're not thinking we're going to the moon.
Just to recap over the inflation expectation numbers from UMich there. The 1 year inflation prelim did come in unchanged at 3%, but lower than the expected 3.1%. 5 year unchanged and as expected at 2.9%.
Okay, so lower low, lower high, green bodied candle. We might make this green bodied candle slightly bigger, right? I think we will be contained to yesterday's red, right? I don't think we're going to make a higher high, but we'll be testing up here somewhere. All right, so let's go take a look on an hourly. All right, and now we can identify our floor, we can identify our ceiling. And then within that floor and that ceiling, we have to start looking at a ladder, right? So let's go take a look at a 5 minute chart. And then this ladder will have to be tested, right? We've already identified this flag. We already know the news is helping our bias, right? So if we build this ladder that we're accustomed to in this area here, right, we're already looking at breaking levels on the upside. Right, and then there's levels within these levels, right? So if you look closely, you can find levels that are within this. And this is just for your mind's eye to have an idea of what the market is capable of doing next. Right, so we're doing this on the 5 minute chart. If we give ourselves a little bit more space here, right? Put this into a flag. And give yourself a flagpole. And then
The US Treasury yields slightly pair their gains after the US consumer sentiment data. The 10 year yield is last up around 1.4 basis points.
Right, so the first goal for this move would be somewhere up here, right? 9, 10 or so. All right, so it's a matter of time. Let's just see what happens. And if we get there, will that fulfill an average daily range? And that's 36 pips. What's an average daily range?
We have posted out the University of Michigan March prelim reports on the feed for those interested.
49, almost 50 pips, right? So we're still missing 14 or 15, right? So even if we do get up here, there's a chance we go slightly higher. Okay, so let's go back to our 5 minutes. We'll leave that one in front of us because that is the ladder that we want to be working through. And we're going to be working through that ladder on a 1 minute chart with our 1 minute box. And in this box, we want to be buying support, making 3 pips, 3 pips, 3 pips on the way up. Ultimately, we'll go up 3, maybe 4 boxes, and then we begin to sell. Okay, so let's see for a red candle, and then we'll become buyers. I'll just add to my existing buys. These are longs, swings. I'm just going to play for 3 pips, 3 pips, 3 pips. And then as soon as I open one trade here, I'll go back and review Wednesday, Thursday. I just want to buy on the red candle, something like that. It wasn't red, but it was retraced. Okay, so let's go back. Let's use a 15 minutes. So while I was away, trades from last week closed at the high. I did open a handful of trades, 4 or 5, before I left on Wednesday. I closed one at a loss and reopened it. Here I did nothing for 24 hours or so. And then I closed the shorts that we had hedged at break even plus 1 or 2 pips.
ECB's Lane says firms are no longer fearful about labour shortages.
So the long hedge closed with 1 or 2 pips of profit. We traded within the hedge, and then the short hedge closed with a pip or 2 of profit, along with a bunch of swing trades. And now here I am buying off the lows and profiting off these purchases, right? So it's a matter of time to see if we're correct on our assumption or not. All right, are we going back up, or is this going to fail, and are we going back down? All right, I won't allow the fail to break below my break even, right? I'm already floating profit here. I want to keep it that way, right? The account is almost to $6,000. Right, so we've recovered pretty much what's happened here the little bit of February. We basically made that back. And over the last couple of days, we did exercise drawdown, but it was contained to, I think, 9.8%. Yeah, right there, 9.8%. Okay, so the account is still moving forward. It's up to us to determine what behavior we need to use each and every day. Hedging just postponed. It bought time, which luckily for me, I ended up using to do other things. Okay, so I'll be updating, I think it's Wednesday's video, or Tuesday's video, and today's video. There's no recording for yesterday and the day before. All right, so those red candles we wanted to buy into, that's it right there. All right, and now here's the channel that we're contained within. All right, breaking that box would bring us to the lower edge of the channel. All right, I'll buy this. Right, so now I have two open trades with targets. Where are they? There they are. I have two open trades with 3-pip targets. Right, everything else here is a swing trade. I'm replicating a similar thesis on my other platforms at the same time. All right, so I'm looking for a bullish move and not going to the moon, but giving us an opportunity to maybe sell from higher. Yay. All right, that's what we want to see. Simple formations, right? Ideally, we want to play with probabilities that we know, we've tested them. You know, I know what a flag does. I know how a flag behaves. I know how I need to behave within this formation. And it's just wash, rinse, and repeat, right? It builds a playbook of stuff that I'm familiar with, stuff that I'm agreeing with, stuff that agrees with me. You know, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel, right? I just want to be able to reuse what's in front of me. Ideally, recycle my trades, right? So I know this behavior and I know what creates a failure in this environment. And so, you know, in my case, I refuse to go into box 2, right? I just won't go there. I'm going to lose or book everything if we go into box 2, right? I just don't want to be in drawdown on a Friday. I want to be in updraw on a Friday. Right? If I book all of this, we're over $6,000 in the account. And so I'm just going to play my way through for a couple hours and then call it a day. The account has officially doubled as of today. All right, so we've recycled one. We've closed one, I should say. Let's see if we can close a second and maybe recycle a second. All right, there we go. Let's bust out of this flag. Call that a pennant. Come on. Okay. How far are we from the first entry here? 2 boxes, 18, 19 pips. I want to wait if we can get a third box, which I missed this morning because I was sleeping. So if we can get back up here and then maybe a fourth, that'd be awesome. That will allow me to close my swings. All right, keeping it simple. Trading in the raw. There we are. I'll take that trade that close. I just reopened it, right? So I have 2 trades still. I'm waiting to see a break out of that flag. All right, we're just using our mind's eye, trying to find the simplest way out of here, the simplest, you know, the most likely outcome. Most likely is not always the most probable. That's a big problem we have, right? Assessing the probabilities is not the same thing as assessing the odds. I think we have a speech coming up, 30 minutes. ECB lane speech in 30 minutes, right? So we'll have to be, that's in 15 minutes, sorry, 20. I have to be careful of that. Right? That E may actually help us. I'm thinking he would anyways. Help this bias. And again, you know, we're bullish not because we think it's going to the moon, but because we want to be retesting resistance and then become sellers. Right? And so, yeah, back here, logged in with software called AnyDesk. It's similar to TeamViewer, and you can set it up on so that you log in unattended, and therefore it eliminates the use of a VPN. It's easier, you know, it's one piece of software. You run it on the mobile and you run it on your desktop, and then it just lets you into your own computer. So this is what I did here. This is how I opened these 5 trades. And this is how I closed here. Everything else I was just watching, trying not to do anything. Here I was testing my connection. I opened 2 more clicks. But yeah, we did it all from 4 hours away from home. Really used my phone to close trades. Tried really hard to not open trades. All right, let's see it break out of the channel. Or flag for that matter. There we go. Yay. All right, let us recycle this on the red candle. Let me go back to a 1-minute chart so I can see what I'm doing. And, oh, I see red. Yay. 1, 2. We're breaking out of the channel. We'll see if that's real or not. You know, I did draw my lines with my mind's eye, so my lines could be off. You know, either way, the proof will be in the pudding. It's clearly moving in my favor, so I'm not freaking out. Right, yabba dabba doo. Come on, let us close a couple more trades. But the bulk of what I have here in use are swing trades. All right, these are all swing trades that are in the money. All right, so I'm just using house money to make money. We're just playing for 3 pips on the way up. There we go. If you have money to spend, spend it on the red candle. And by the time we get back to 940 or so, right, 940, 950, in this area up here, we want to become sellers again. All right, so 910 plus 4 boxes. Right, if we get up here, plus 4 more boxes is all sells.
We're looking now to the Fear and Greed Index, 70 out of 100, indicating greed, while the Crypto Fear and Greed Index is at 83 out of 100, which is indicating extreme greed.
Yeah, be careful on Bitcoin
Also
up at
looking at
these
the VIX, which is
levels.
up 2% so far at 14.68.
Good place to sell up here. There. Red candle. I'll spend the other 2 clicks I have. All right, and now our expectations is we should spend time in this box right here. All right, we've entered the box. It's a standard deviation. We have 1 hour to deliver a standard amount of time, standard amount of pips. Right, that's just expectations, and anything can happen. It can fly right through the top, or it could just go sideways and come out over here, where it can just flop and come back down here, right? The probabilities tell us, because of what's happened and where we are, the likelihood is that it's going up here. All right, bringing us back to 900 even. Right, if we can get on top of this current box here, that'd be awesome. And then 3 to 4 more boxes, that call it a day. Right, it is Friday. Yeah, preferably we want to go flat into the weekend, right? So now's not the time to push your luck and ruin 4 days of work. There we are. It's only -1 Celsius today. It's going to be a nice day. Let's see, did we pick the right bias? I think so. We'll find out soon enough. All right. So I have 3, 4 already. Yeah. Again, if we approach this white line, I won't allow myself to cross it, right? I don't want to give back a positive morning. If anything, I'll stop at break even. right there at support, I'll buy one. I'll remove this. I'll remove this because we all know it's there. If I adjust this box, I'll put it on that swing right there. We went through the box, then we came back in. Okay. What if I put this right there? Are we coming here? There's support again. I'll buy that. All right, so I have 2 clicks in this lower box, and I have 4 in the upper box. And then I have swing trades below me. And this is just a measure. And again, you know, I'm just some guy on the internet. I could be totally wrong. And this thing just goes down the tubes. Right. Do what you see fit. Yeah, I feel rejuvenated. I am Iron Man. Iron sucrose is the juice of life. It's like an oil change. It feels awesome. That's probably why I was so tired the last few weeks. It's happened before. This is my 4th time doing this. Iron infusions. There we go. Come on. If you have a click or two to spare, there's a red candle. While we're waiting for these trades to close, let's just review this week. Current week, profit, we're positive. Winning trades, 158. Losing trades, 9. For the month is recovered. Remember, we started the month in a loss. Right, so we've recovered. That's awesome. February was fantastic. March will be different so far. Today won't show because it's still before midnight, and so we have to show yesterday. So just yesterday was a positive day. This is closing everything at break even. And this is today's session as a group. I'm just going to put this here just to allow us to measure. Actually, let's put it on that swing high right there, right here. And so we can measure to the bottom. I'm just using this as a yardstick, right? It's a measuring tool. It just allows me to see what the market is capable of doing. It's right here. You can take a spare click, and then I have one left. I'll spend it near the bottom here if we get there. If we cannot get there, I'll spend it right now. So I have 4 clicks in this box also, and I had 4 just a minute ago up here. All right, so now I have 8 on top of my swings. I'm still looking for bullish move to come. Right. Ultimately, I'll be closing my swings somewhere up here. If you go and look at your daily candle, right, the assumption is we're trying to grow the daily candle to the upside. All right, so it is a lower low, it is a lower high, it is a green candle, and it looks as though it's trying to get more bullish than the 3 boxes it already is. All right, I may be wrong, and maybe we are going lower for the remaining 13 pips or so, 14 pips. Ready yourself for anything. Let's give ourselves a little bit bigger window here so we can see. Oh yeah, there's a speech coming up. Exactly. ECB lane. They usually like to blow smoke in their favor, so we'll see what happens. Sorry, I'm drinking tea today. I don't mean to be slurpy. It's just super hot. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Come on. Let's be closing this Friday on a good note. That'd be fantastic. All right. There you go. That's what we're looking for. That kind of behavior. It's contained to the channel, so a break is imminent. The direction, the proof will be in the pudding. We just have to trade the facts. Right? I have plan A. Ultimately, plan B is to stop before breaking even, which is right here. So I'm not allowing myself to get to that wide line. I do want to book profits for today. The lane speech must be a non-event. Squawk Box didn't even mention it. it's not listed on the squawk calendar either. So maybe it's like a white paper. All right, so we closed a couple or just the one. I think that's just the one. If we see a red candle here, we can recycle that one. In no time at all, we'll be able to close all of our trades into profit and call it a positive week. A move up towards 940 is not out of the question. Right? But we have resistance along the way, right? We have our ladder that we built, remember? So we have this wrong to break through. We have this wrong to break through. Ultimately, we have this. Right? And then when we start looking further left, we have this kind of stuff in here that we have to contend with. Right? So there's excuses to find resistance along the way. That doesn't mean we can be trading what we see, right? We have to trade the facts. Resistance is an opportunity. All right, here's a red candle. I'm recycling that trade that closed here a minute ago. My updraw is $70, $60, $66, $67. Not so bad. The swings are kind of helping things float along. All right, I will remain long. Until I either close my trades into profit or it reaches to break even, whichever one comes first. All right, if we just, for the sake of argument, measure this move right here, it itself is a 9 pip move. And then if we reset the box on this swing right there, maybe we can see another 9 pips. I keep moving the box because it is dynamic, right? And it's just an idea. It's just giving me an idea of what the market is capable of doing. If I line this up to the left and I see resistance, I see support, I see something that might be useful to me here. All right, so if I go here, I'm willing to take a trade there. All right, this is support. That's kind of what I do. Right? What I'm not willing to do is give up a good trade and turn it into a losing trade, right? So I have to remain above. Above break even, that is. I'm just going to remove this because it's kind of misleading to us, right? But I am keeping the channel. Right? The flag is flagging. And you'll notice I'm not clicking as much because I do have swing trades on. So I'm kind of treading lightly, especially on the Friday. Right. Ultimately, we're thinking a couple more boxes. Right? We have time. It's when the time runs out. If we haven't gotten up here, I have to close. Right? We have to flatten our book on the Friday, preferably. That's risk management. There we go. That's the tick tick I like to hear. Yay. All right, you guys following along or making money? I can't hear you. One more time, louder, all together now. Come on. All right, if I can see a red bodied candle here, I'll recycle these two trades, or one of the two at least. Oh, there's a red candle. All right, we're just trying to capture the momentum. Volatility is present. Within volatility comes momentum, and we're extracting momentum. We're milking the cow, right? Everybody else is trying to bet the farm. We're happy just milking it for 3 pips.
ECB's McLeod says, my current view is that the picture should be sufficiently clearer in June to give us sufficient confidence to make monetary policy less restrictive.
There you go. You heard it from the horse's mouth. I was going to say the same thing. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes. Love it when a plan comes together. All right, so inability to fulfill the full box from the top gives me the idea that maybe I should put the box on the swing low right here and see if we can fulfill a box in that direction instead. Right? So because we were unable to go 9 pips on the way down, maybe we're trying to go 9 pips on the way up instead. Right? Maybe we're starting from support. It's just a whole bunch of maybes. It's how you perceive the outcome and play towards that outcome. Right? Red candle, I'll recycle 1 or 2 here. I put 1 for now. I'm saving 1 for lower in the box. Right? And then this will allow me to measure the future. Right. 842. Have I ever told you my digital wall clock runs fast? I've never had a digital clock run ahead I've always had them run behind.
So
This,
SOFR flows are mixed as traders weigh the impact of Fed dots pricing. The flows in SOFR options picked up on Friday's session with no strong bias or direction as traders look to hedge potential impact of Fed revising their dot plot forecast at next week's policy meeting and the potential front-end market reaction to any adjustments.
I was saying the clock on my wall is misleading because it tends to run about 2 minutes fast per month. And so it's always a few seconds ahead of my computer and everything else. And I'm not late for stuff, but I'm usually left waiting. Another red candle. Here's click number 4. Right, so now my take profits are in the upper half of the box, and I'm looking for a move up. All right, I'm looking for a bounce in this area here. I'm looking for a bounce up. Right, we're looking left. We have all this support here that I've already bought into, minutes ago, an hour ago. All right. Are we doing a lower low? Or is this the low and are we trying to go up? Right? This is why the box is dynamic. It gives you this ability to choose. Whereas on this side, the lines are static and you have to sit here and watch the price tell you what's coming next. Over here, I can see the probabilities. Right? There's a probability that it goes here and there's a probability that it goes here. I just don't know which is next. I see what's probable. I have to trade the facts. And this is the dilemma we have with trading. Sometimes the facts don't line up with what you saw would be the perfect trade. Bunch of news updates coming through. This reminds me of the old fax machines. Yeah. All right, we're looking to recycle this stuff. If it feels awkward, it's because you're buying in an environment of drawdown. You're spending money when the price is falling. It feels awkward. But in real life, that's what we try to do, right? We do want to buy cheap. When it comes to trading, your brain will have you chasing stuff. And instead of buying cheap down here, your brain would have you selling this because your brain only sees these red candles right here and it assumes there's a million more of the same coming. Right? By using a little bit of logic and looking left, you can understand that this is an average move. And because it's an average, it's highly probably over. Right? It's run its course. Some moves are bigger than average. Like this here, it's twice the average. Right? This move right here was twice the average, while other moves are smaller than the average. Right? Use your mind's eye. Look for averages. Look for things that are repetitive over and over and over and over. Right? I see these little pullbacks here. I see them everywhere. And that's kind of where we make our money. There is a direction, a so-called trend. right? But we're not hardcore bent out of shape over it. You know, if it happens to help my thesis, it helps my thesis. The thesis is the facts, and the facts are we're buying support or selling resistance. So yeah, it's okay to be counter trend trading. Just adjust size, adjust expectations, adjust, right? Keep adjusting. Why is this not closing trades? Because it's not 3 pips. It's only 1.5. All right. So inability to fulfill the full box. All right. I'm still thinking, oh, maybe we're going back up. All right. Is this a low? If this is a low, then we're going up here. Right? If we're coming lower still, maybe this is where we're going. All right. Looking left, it looks like it starts around here. All right, this zone. Right, I just keep moving my measuring cup, and it lets me see how the market has the ability to fill it. Right, it's all about setting my expectations. I know it's moving 9 pips over and over and over and over. I just don't know how that 9 pips will be delivered. It wasn't delivered on the way down, right? It never made it to 9 pips. And so is it going to deliver 9 on the way up instead? Right? It's one or the other. I have an idea, I have a bias because of this flag and the flagpole and all that kind of stuff. I just have to watch it and see if it plays according to my expectations. Right? And if I'm wrong, I'm willing to adjust my expectations. In the next 20 minutes or so, half hour, I would suspect most of these will be closed up here. Okay? And again, I'm just some dude on the internet. I may be totally wrong. I love being some dude on the internet. The internet. If you have a if you have a trade to take, now's a good time. I've already spent mine, so I have to wait. I'm really waiting to see if we start climbing up this ladder. On the Friday, expectations have to be restrained. You can't think this is going straight up, you know, up here. Not without some kind of catalyzer, catalyst of some sort. Yeah, day trading with low blood pressure. strange combination. Come on, come on, come on. Squawk has gone real quiet all of a sudden. There's nothing really on the calendar until 2 more hours from now, which would then bring about the oil rig count. So by 1 o'clock Eastern, we should get, is the last news for today. So we've just closed the trade, which will enable us to recycle it. If you have the money to spend, spend it on the red candle. Right there, boom. I just recycled my trade. I guess I could have waited a second or so. We're approaching the top of the hour, which should bring with it the London fix. Beautiful. As long as it's not going through the basement, it's beautiful. All right, let's see. I'm just looking on my left, my other platforms. Let's see what kind of trouble I'm in. Oh, no trouble. Awesome. Fantastic. All right, let's keep this going. All right, I just want to see the flagpole. All right, this little leg right there is what we're looking for here. Right? It's not magic, it's not science, it's just mathematics and, you know, measured environments. Right around here, 910. How far away is this? That so happens to be 2 boxes. We could do that in the blink of an eye. We've mentioned this before, right? The market gets under our skin by taking its time delivering on a good plan. And the plan's not flawed. It's the market's timing that interrupts our expectations. Right? Dig your heels in. Remain steadfast long. For at least, you know, the end of the trading session. Or break even, whichever comes first. Right, there's a red candle. I'm going to recycle. I'm clicking slowly because I don't want to get into, you know, a huge mess on a Friday. The outcome remains the same. I'm looking for a move up. Oh, I have one too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I have one too many. I'm only spending the money that's allotted to this task in this particular box. If I don't recycle the trades, I cannot open trades. And so I operate in drawdown, except today I happen to be in updraw because of what I did a couple hours ago. I just happened to have bought the very bottom. Viewing positions. Yeah, I bought right around here. Come on, come on, come on. Right. Consider the week. Let's go take a look at the weekly candle. I'm curious to see how did this week do compared to last week. All right. So this week, 5 days of work contained inside of last week. 5 days of work. All right. So we have an inside bar, inside to a bullish environment, right? Inside to a bullish candle, bullish measure. All right. So let's call that a measure bar with the high near 980. We'll call that the low near 840. Right. Next week will let us in the loop, right? Next week will tell us if we're going higher or if we're going lower. And so opening of next week is not necessarily going to be, magical, but how we end next week. We will have broken one side or the other. Right? That's kind of what our expectations are, at least. Sorry, I'm just deleting this little mess here. Right, so we have this to contend with. As we speak, we're creating the wick on the weekly candle. Right, this is Friday right here on the weekly candle. There's nothing that says Friday can't go up, and the wick on the weekly candle gets bigger. Right, and likewise, there's nothing that says we can't go down a little bit, and the wick on the weekly candle lengthens to the downside. Right, so be cautious, be aware of your surroundings, know where your break even is. If you don't have a break even tool on your platform, you should try to find one, on the internet or do it on paper. Just add your entries and divide by the number of entries. Figure out what your average price is. That is our secret sauce, that is the exit that we engineer when everybody else is trying to pray their stop loss away. This looks good. I love it. Plan comes together. I just want more real estate. I want more screen. on 5 minutes. Oh. What are we, about a half a box away? Yeah, we're about a half a box away from breaking even. So I have to protect this right there. A little bit of range, right? So past the top of the hour. So now it's officially this London fixed time zone or time of day. Right? In the next 25 minutes or so, the banks in Europe are setting the stage to close the bank in the next hour. And so this is an event that happens every day. And depending on what led to this, sometimes there's a reaction at this time. It's like a action as a equal reaction. And so are we going to break down? Are we going to go sideways? Are we going to go back up? Right? This little box gives me an idea, one box at a time, right? What the market is capable of doing. Right? Something like this, right? That's expected. Right? What is not expected is a lower low, right? Because of the news event that came out today, right? Which was good on the euro side of the equation. Right? There's plenty of times when the market sees the news and reacts the opposite, counterintuitively. It's almost like it's already looking at the next news. It's like, non-event, right? And so as long as we have some kind of direction, we trade the facts, not the actual news itself. Right? The facts for me are still, I'm in the flag, and the flag has a pole, and the pole leads me to 910. Right around here. May not happen today. And so if I can't get out of all of this today, I'm just kind of screwed. And so I do have my break even in front of me. I do have updraw. You know, I could just close everything right here, right now, book that $50, call it a day. Right? But I'm thinking if I give myself another hour, maybe hour and a half, most of these will have closed somewhere up here. Right? So it's a probability assessment, and I'm just going to let it play out. Right? I know where to pull the plug, so I keep a little bit of money. And I know where to pull the plug on the upside before I, walk away from Friday. Okay? So let's just watch this for the next 15-20 minutes, and then I'll be letting you go at the bottom of the hour. 20 more minutes, and then I got something I gotta do. All right, so updraw. I just want to be recycling some green trades here. Actually, I don't want to be recycling. I just want to close them. The recycling will have to take place when I come back in an hour or so. All right, this is it. All right, how are we gonna come out of this box? It's not uncommon to see it go right up to the top, just like it did here, right? Or all the way back to the bottom, like it did there, right? The market has legs. We tend to put all our hopes and prayers for those legs to work in one direction. See. It's crazy how, with or without a trend, we have the ability of closing profitable trades. And because we always typically operate in a drawdown environment, in a red bubble, it's nice to be in a green bubble, once in a while. And if we can engineer this, it also helps with your statistics in the end, right? Like this trading upside down risk to reward ratio is made up for or compensated by the swing trades. All right, so we're just measuring a standard environment, looking for a standard move. Right, the outcome of that is what is undetermined, and that's where we trade the facts. Right.
And the US's Blinken says conversations are happening right now on the hostage deal.
Oh, convenient. Yeah. Do we get a push back up, or do we get a breakdown? A couple of minutes, we will know. So do I need to put this over here? Or do I need to put this over here? Let's wait and see. All right, waiting to see the facts. Oh. What time is it now? 12 after. If we get to here, I will close everything, and basically call it a day. Right? I'll keep this much money. Right? This is profits, so I'll be keeping some profits and walking away. We'll change that color so I don't forget what to do here. There we go. All right, time for some black magic and sorcery and voodoo dolls and all that good stuff. You know, whip out your voodoo magic. Boo. There he goes. Time for that famous concoction. We want to be careful not to fly too close to the sun. Our wings tend to melt off. Holy, it's respecting the box.
The US says that G7 is weighing an effective ban on Iran air flights to Europe.
So, are we just gonna put this here and now wait? Remember what we said before, how the market is using time to, get under our skin and ruin our expectations. It's happening in front of us. Right? We have a good plan, we have a good outcome in mind, but it's moving inside that range, inside of that, you know, that expected move. And every time it pushes back or retraces, the anxiety goes up a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, and eventually somebody, will have had enough and pull the plug. And that's, usually 1, 2, 3 bars just before that big move you were looking for. And keep an eye on the clock. Somebody's on the other side with a schedule in mind, right? If you live in North America, all of Europe is looking to finish their day. We're looking towards the weekend, and we still have hours in front of us, right? So we all have something in mind, and it requires motivation of some kind, a catalyst for the market. Let that catalyst show itself. Ten more minutes. 12 more minutes, and I'll have to leave you with the plan. Okay, the plan is to stay long, and then hopefully Sunday night, Monday, we want to sell from the 940, 950 area. Okay, so write that down, pen and paper, right? Stay long today, and then sell Monday into a higher high, higher than today. I'm wondering if we'll see something like this coming up next. That'd be kind of sweet. Again, if we get to that red line, I just close everything and book whatever profits I'll have. At that time, I have 35 right now. Time to go buy a lottery ticket if you're a believer. I'm just positioning some trades over here. Just give me 1 second. On the 4-hour chart, we still have an inside bar. Just so we're all on the same page. Go to 4 hours or any intermediate time frame. You'll see yourself inside of a bullish measure bar. And as such, we would expect bullish as an outcome. Right? It's just probabilities speaking for themselves. It's not facts, right? And so it's not a fact until we see it. Right? So check the low, right? What is that low right there? 8,822, right? So we have to survive 8,822. Probably this right there. Or is it this one over here? It's this one over here. This is the last 4-hour candle. There we go. Am I going to go flat? That remains the question. So we've broken out of the box. If that is a true break out of the box, maybe I'll put that there, and that leads the way to here. And if we break this red line, I won't allow this to happen. And so I'm just going to get myself ready to book some profits. I have my finger on the trigger just in case we break lower. Is this a low? Do I get to move my box here? And are we going back up? All right, I'm just thinking out loud. All right, I'm just trying to, this break of the box right there is telling us a story. Right, so the fact that we broke the end of the box, we ran out of time, right there, was this the move that was forthcoming, right? Is this a new low? Do we need to start there? All right, I'm still above my red line, so I'm still bullish for the next 7 minutes or so while I have you here, and then I have to go for 30 minutes or so. Right, at the bottom of the hour, or sorry, yeah, at the bottom of the hour, we need to expect the bankers close to start setting up, right? And then the following 30 minutes brings with it the actual closing of the banks. Right? So first there's a setup, and then there's the actual closing of the banks. Is this what we have here? Are they 5 minutes early? Talk about black magic, voodoo, witchcraft. Trading from within the vortex. Yes. Come on. Let's close some trades here so we can call it a day. All right. So I have 3 minutes before I have to let you go. So the plan will be to remain long until you can, close what you have opened, maybe another 1 or 2 boxes from here. Otherwise, if you're like me, already in a bunch of longs, cover your break even, don't give back, don't lose on a Friday. All right, and then I'll see you guys Monday morning for the live session. All right, everyone, trade safe, follow the plan, don't touch your stop losses, right? Leave your targets where they are. If you don't have targets, then use boxes and start measuring in the future. All right, enjoy yourselves. Glad to be back, everybody. Trade safe. Bye-bye.